We got Cheryl here. Tell us, Cheryl, what's your role and who do you work for?
So I am the ORTA, which stands for the Office of Research and Technical Applications for Naval Facilities, Engineering and Expeditionary Warfare Center. So my role for NAVFAC EXWC is to do technology transfer, which could include technologies that were developed in-house by Navy engineers, and then finding partners out in the private sector to license those technologies, or looking for technologies that have been developed in the private sector and how we can include those technologies in Navy efforts.
Great. And then we're here today at the NAVFAC EXWC Industry Day, right? So what is that? What's today all about?
So today is the ability for us to bring both of those sectors together in addition to academia. So our goal is to bring our scientists and engineers into the same room with industry and academia and other partners that might be interested in doing business with the Navy and helping us to solve some of our hardest problems.
This is one of my favorite days, one of my favorite events. We have people come back every year and tell us how great it is, just like today. So who should attend this? Is this big companies, little companies? Is this entrepreneurs? What kind of people should show up today?
We love all. Because everybody brings a flavor of their own to the table. Obviously, entrepreneurs have incredible ideas in trying to solve world hunger, but for us, we may want to solve world energy issues for Department of Defense. Small businesses, they're certainly the engine of America's business right now, and large businesses, because certainly they have the experience and they have connections. So we love all partners, and in addition to that, we would love to have more from academia participate in these events, because oftentimes they're on cutting edge technology with very entrepreneur-minded students in their classrooms. So that works incredibly well with everything we're trying, all of our goals that we're trying to do for DoD.
Yeah, and so every time you do an industry event, you guys tend to give it a bit of a theme, a bit of a focus. So what's today's focus?
Oh, so today we were focusing on cybersecurity, control systems, and machine learning, or artificial intelligence, as a way to certainly the machine learning and AI is our way of being smarter with data analysis. And how can we use some of the massive amounts of data that we collect in DoD to make smarter decisions?
And for you, is there one particular area or problem that you're really interested in hoping to find a lead on today?
Well, so my role is really just a connector for everybody else. We are focused on that, on the areas that we talked about earlier, but we're still always interested in all the other areas that we work on. We're talking about petroleum, oil, and lubricants, so the fuel industry, energy, environmental studies. Our last industry day was on autonomous and unmanned systems. That is a huge effort for us still. So we're just running pretty much the gamut of anything you could possibly want to investigate.
So when in doubt, bring it to you guys and you guys will figure it out whether it's of use or not, right?
Absolutely. And usually we can find something.
Yeah, so far I know I've thrown some pretty wild ideas and companies and tech at you, and you're always like, maybe not me, but we could find it over here, or here's a possibility. There's always an avenue of some sort of use. So someone who has a small business of technology, what's the best way to get involved? Is it show up on these days? Is there other ways to do it? What would you suggest?
Well, certainly industry days are one of the better ones, right?
Yeah,
because there's so many people in attendance. We reserved 100 reservations for our own employees, for government people to be in the room. But in addition to that, they can always reach out to our small business program manager, Ray Brothers, or they can reach out to me for tech transfer, and we can then refer them on to, who would be the right point of contact within the organization.
Very good. So you're a very busy woman. And I know you're also doing some stuff in STEM. Since we got you, can you tell us a little bit about that?
Certainly. So, science, technology, engineering, and math (STEM) program is really going to be the launch pad for building our own new technical workforce, right? We need to educate our students from a very young age. We've seen that research has shown that if you can get them in middle school hooked into STEM, that they will probably stay within that program throughout college and end up in a professional series, becoming engineering or whatever in STEM field, some kind of STEM field. But it is particularly important to get girls in the middle school programs, because that's the time where we start to lose so many young girls out of STEM, and they just seem to have a different focus, and we just need to help bring them back to the table.
Agreed. So if you have a young girl or a young girl yourself, are there events coming up, or how do we get our girls involved today?
Yeah, so we actually have a STEM coordinator. Her name is Karina Morgan, and she is doing a phenomenal job of participating in a lot of STEM events within the county and even elsewhere. This week she's at the USA Science Festival down in Los Angeles. So she's bringing the word of STEM for Navy up to a much larger audience.
Very good. Yeah, Karina is amazing. So what do you guys have coming up? What's the next, is there another industry day? What's on your radar?
So we do plan to host another industry day later this year. We're working on it. It's for the Petroleum, Oil, and Lubricants group.
Okay.
Probably dealing with more of the construction side of it.
Okay.
So it's a little bit different. And for STEM, you will be helping us. Probably in January, we're going to do a 3-day teachers session where we're going to be helping them learn how to build these underwater autonomous vehicles. We call them sea glides. And they will take their sea glides back to their classrooms and help their students develop their own teams. And they will internally compete to provide their best sea glide UAV back to a competition that will be held at the Port of Hueneme, probably sometime in April.
Very cool. I'm looking forward to it. Super excited to be a part of it.
Yeah.
As always, however we can support. That was all the questions I had. Do you have any closing comments or anything else that we've missed?
I just think that these kinds of events could never happen without partnerships with the economic development groups like RDP 21, Economic Development Collaborative of Ventura County, and certainly Matter Labs being an integral partner for us in helping to make these tech transfer and STEM events something that everybody wants to participate in.
Yes, agreed. The partnerships and sponsorships are imperative, and we appreciate being a part of it. So thank you for involving us.
Thank you.
Thanks, and thanks for your time.
Absolutely.